think if Canelo was using the jab effectively, hard, the guy wouldn't have been able to come in because the guy was coming in because he wasn't worried about Canelo's jab. So he got more aggressive and he got brave. If you're not jabbing, he has no defense.
I really don't care how big Crawford is. If I'm Canelo, I feel disrespected. You know, coming up 2 weight classes, you haven't fought at 68. We don't know how your body's going to react.
He's got the heart, he's got the speed, the skills, and he's going to go out there. I was thinking he put up a good first 6 rounds, but then Canelo will start picking it up. But now I think Crawford will go for I'm picking Crawford to win.
Mike Tyson voices serious concern for Canelo's future, cautioning that a defeat to Terence Crawford could be damaging. He notes that in past bouts, Canelo has failed to use his jab effectively, which often gave rivals the confidence to close distance. Tyson insists that this time Canelo must refine his jab strategy, applying it with sharper precision and steady consistency to dictate the fight and prevent Crawford from building momentum.
Not going to jab, the guy's going to walk right in on him, like he did. Next fight, use your jab, different fight. Well, it was really basic, you know.
Respected boxing analyst Teddy Atlas highlights that Canelo Alvarez has battled an impressive list of elite opponents across divisions, giving him one of the sport's deepest resumes. In comparison, Terence Crawford hasn't faced as many household names fans expect at his level. Still, Atlas emphasizes that greatness isn't always defined by a long resume, but by skill and adaptability inside the ring. He argues Crawford's mastery of timing, angles, and ring control could neutralize Canelo's physical edge. Atlas believes Crawford's calm composure and ability to adjust mid-fight might prove decisive against a champion as seasoned and dangerous as Alvarez.
Maybe he's a little overrated.
Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds.
Canelo's really good. Really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire, it's in his mind, it's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moving up in weight class, can he carry it? You know, but those intangibles, I believe that he has them.
For Canelo Alvarez, the stakes in this matchup go far beyond a simple result. Terence Crawford is jumping 2 weight classes, creating a unique challenge, yet also putting all the pressure on Canelo. A loss in these circumstances would spark criticism, suggesting Canelo couldn't beat a naturally smaller foe despite his advantages in size, power, and experience. Such a setback would raise doubts about his standing in boxing and could damage his legacy as one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters of his generation. That is why the fight carries heavy risk for Canelo before the opening bell even sounds.
No, I really don't care how big Crawford is. If I'm Canelo, I feel disrespected. You know, coming up 2 weight classes, you haven't fought at 68. We don't know how your body's going to react, and you just think, you know, you just going to come up and beat me. We seen it with Charlo, his videos, how he was looking, you know, moving around the ring, and everybody thought, you know, that might work, and we saw what happened come fight night. Crawford is a skillful guy, but like, who has he really beaten? Spence. After Spence, you know, now all of a sudden he can jump up 2 weight classes and beat Canelo. I don't see it. If I'm Canelo, I would have to make a statement with Crawford. Canelo cannot lose this fight. He shouldn't lose this fight.
David Benavidez speaks with conviction when assessing Terence Crawford's place among the elite. He sees Crawford as a boxer operating on another level of technical brilliance and mental sharpness compared to most in the game today. Benavidez praises Crawford's seamless stance switches, his composure under fire, and his control of tempo regardless of his rival's style. He believes this mix of calm and precision makes Crawford a nightmare to solve inside the ring. For Benavidez, Crawford's true advantage isn't only physical talent but his fight IQ, which enables him to dismantle even the most experienced champions round by round.
Terence Crawford, does he have an opportunity to beat Canelo?
I think if anybody has a chance to beat Canelo, I think it's Terence Crawford. His IQ is on another level. He's a great fighter and he's strong. It's just that it's a lot of weight. I wouldn't be surprised if Terence Crawford wins. Wouldn't be surprised if he loses either. Terence Crawford, when he went up against the best opposition, like Earl Spence, he showed what level he's on, what type of dog he is. So I don't know. You really have to let these fights play out to see what happens. He might get hurt. That might activate him to come back strong.
Could you still make 68?
I don't want to make 68.
No, I know you don't. Terence wins 68.
Yeah, well, if that's, yeah, I can make 160.
Jeff Mayweather emphasizes the elite technical skill that has defined Terence Crawford's career, noting his ability to read opponents and adapt with surgical precision. Though he gives Crawford the advantage in pure boxing craft, Mayweather is quick to remind fans that Canelo Alvarez's power and experience remain undeniable. Time and again, Canelo has shown he can flip a fight with one perfectly placed shot and has weathered the pressure of facing boxing's biggest names. Jeff cautions that overlooking Canelo's ability to adjust and exploit openings would be a major mistake for Crawford or anyone who shares the ring with him.
It's kind of tough, but if anybody can do it, I think it would be Terence Crawford. I mean, skill-wise, I give him, I think he's a better fighter than Canelo, but Canelo is also a great fighter but he owns that weight class that he's in. So I would just say that I think that Crawford has to fight almost a perfect fight to win.
Max Kellerman's analysis zeroes in on the jab as a crucial factor in this contest. He explains that Crawford's jab ranks among the sharpest and most accurate in modern boxing, allowing him to dictate distance, launch combinations, and disrupt an opponent's rhythm. This mastery of pace through his lead hand has been central to Crawford's dominance. Kellerman contrasts this with Canelo Alvarez, whose jab earlier in his career was a strong weapon against pressure fighters. In recent years, however, that jab has become less consistent and less emphasized, a flaw that could leave him exposed to Crawford's disciplined and relentless use of it.
I'll give you a list of attributes, and then tell me who do you feel is best in that attribute. First attribute, best jab.
Crawford.
Best defense.
Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo. And earlier in his career, Canelo. But he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
So who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring.
Gary Anchuan Russell highlights the cultural and stylistic contrasts that often shape major boxing showdowns. He describes Canelo Alvarez as the embodiment of the classic Mexican fighting style, mixing measured pressure with punishing body shots and sharp counterpunching. On the other hand, Russell points to Terence Crawford's rhythm, fluid movement, and defensive instincts that align with the traditions of African-American boxing. This stylistic clash, he says, sets up an intriguing battle where both fighters will aim to impose their rhythm while dismantling the strengths of the other.
Canelo, he has mastered his style. Now, typically, Latinos, they got their own style versus melanated black people. Having like more rhythm, more flashiness and panache to their stuff, more swag.
Yeah.
We just fight different than other ethnicities. If you want to throw Amir Khan in there, his ethnicity, he was in and out.
Yeah, that's the European kind of style.
Textbook, you know, but that was his style. Canelo got his style and he mastered it. Terence Crawford cannot take nothing away from him. He's like freakishly good, you know. He go both sides, southpaw, orthodox, you know, and I feel like he adapt well. But it don't take much to get hit, especially these little 8-ounce gloves. He cannot slip up. He cannot slip up. He gonna have to stay set from bing to bing from round 1 to 12, and he better be in shape. I'm talking about like not 12-round shape, I'm talking about like 16-round shape.
Trainer Robert Garcia has been vocal in his support of Terence Crawford ahead of this high-stakes fight. Garcia admires Crawford's relentless work ethic, discipline, and dedication to mastering the fundamentals of the craft. He believes Crawford's success at the sport's highest level serves as proof of the value of technical brilliance and high ring IQ. While Garcia respects Canelo Alvarez and all that he has accomplished, his personal hope is to see Crawford prevail and cement his place as one of boxing's true greats.
You know, I love Crawford. He knows that. I've seen him. I've talked to him many times. And I wish him the best. I'm actually very happy for him and Bomac for everything they've done and the big fight that they're getting. You know, in this sport, making it to those fights and making it to those paydays, you got to be happy for anybody that makes it there. So Mike knows, Crawford knows. Now I'm actually, after Canelo's performance, I'm actually leaning towards Crawford to win this fight.
Why is that? What changed?
Because I know Crawford's, he's got the heart, he's got the speed, the skills, and he's gonna go out there. I was thinking he put up a good first 6 rounds, but then Canelo will start picking it up. But now I think Crawford will go for Crawford will get, I'm picking Crawford to win now.
Omari Jones views Crawford's preparation for this fight as a blueprint of professionalism. Instead of bulking up too quickly and risking a drop in speed or stamina, Crawford has carefully built weight through a precise plan of nutrition and conditioning. This has allowed him to maintain the agility that defines his style while adding the durability required to face a naturally bigger opponent like Canelo. Jones believes this approach gives Crawford the strongest chance of victory while reducing the typical disadvantages of moving up in weight.
And like me personally meeting Crawford several times, it's like the man is just so competitive. It's like I don't even have to say nothing to him. He'll just like, man, when we sparring, it's like his competitiveness is always gonna put him over the edge, and then he just has that like, I'm not gonna let you bully me, or his skill set. And it, I know they talk about Charlo when Charlo moved up, but I feel like it may be a little bit different for Canelo this time around because Crawford took the moving up in weight classes serious. He did the dieting, he did the training. So I feel like when you put in work like that, it's a win-win. So
you don't think Crawford, gaining that weight, because I saw him, he's pretty big. You don't think that's going to be a disadvantage for him in this fight?
No, it looked like he put it on the right way. The nutrition, the like I said, the training. Crawford, he trains hard, so I feel like, I know they say he probably went up to like 185, so he has to lose that weight. But I think if he did it the right way, which I know he did, he'll be successful in September.
And I know you, like we discussed earlier, we talked with your pro debut, and now you're 3-0. Your last fight, July 19th against Blanco, and it was actually your 3rd win by knockout.
Yes.
Super proud of you. How are you feeling about your pro career so far?
I'm feeling great about my pro career. I definitely feel like it's off to a great start.
Paulie Malignaggi adds that Crawford has struck the perfect balance in his physical build-up. He notes that Crawford has gained the strength to withstand Canelo's power without losing the quickness needed to counter effectively and escape pressure. Malignaggi credits this to a disciplined training camp and attention to detail in everything from diet to sparring. He suggests this preparation could be the deciding factor in Crawford's ability to successfully impose his game plan against Alvarez.
Wait, what's your thought about that?
Yeah, I mean, well, Roy Jones is Roy Jones, but also Terence Crawford is Terence Crawford. But John Ruiz is not Canelo Alvarez. So that's another aspect of that comparison. And yes, to exactly what the champ said, exactly what Abel Sanchez said, you're going to put on weight, you're going to be a different fighter. And I can say this even as a fighter as myself, as I've gotten heavier in my retirement, I try and move around the gym, it just feels different. And even when you start camp, you feel different in the beginning than you do at the end. But listen, we're still 4 or 5 weeks away. I don't know exactly what Terence is weighing right now. And even if he does say what he weighs, man, he's gone out there and said he's weighed, all types of crazy numbers just to get media to respond. So it's really not really going to know until the fight. We see these guys next to each other. He might look bigger right now, but he might not be that heavy. He might still be in the range that these guys are targeting for the fight itself.
Stephen Breadman Edwards centers his analysis on Crawford's movement, calling it the foundation of his dominance. He explains that Crawford's control of distance forces opponents into awkward positions, making them miss and leaving them open to counters. Combined with top-tier conditioning, Crawford can sustain this pace for 12 rounds without fading. Edwards believes this mobility will be essential in neutralizing Canelo's forward pressure and preventing him from cutting off the ring. He also emphasizes Crawford's mental toughness, noting his composure remains steady even under heavy attack.
He slips, he's really good. But Crawford is just so clutch. His conditioning is so good. They're going to be about similar heights. Crawford's a little taller. He's longer. And I think that Crawford's adjustments in fights are so underrated. He is a master adjuster. He finds something in every fight and just goes with it. That last fight, people talk about he struggled. You know what he found that last fight? A simple jab. He just started beating the guy up with a jab. He finds something in every fight. And he don't fight a lazy fight. Canelo, for as good as he is, he hasn't stopped anybody since 2021. That's 4 years. You know why? Because he gets a little tired and he gets like a little bit complacent. He's a power puncher. Anybody that punched that hard don't want to go 4 years without a stoppage. He haven't got a stoppage because he don't have the conditioning and the stamina to push a guy over the edge after he hurt him or after, you know, when the guy's running away from him to still be able to go get him. He don't want to go the distance in all these fights. You think he wants to go the distance with Jamel Charlo and John Ryder and Edgar Berlanga and Triple G at 68? He don't want to, but he don't have that extra gear anymore, in my opinion, to get guys out of there.
Canelo Alvarez's recent showing against William Skull has sparked doubts among fans and analysts. His punch output appeared lower than usual, and his movement lacked the urgency and sharpness that defined his prime years. Rather than dictating the action, Canelo often reacted to Skull's offense, giving his opponent more comfort than expected. This hesitancy has raised concerns about whether Canelo still possesses the stamina and sharpness to control elite competition for 12 rounds. Critics argue that if these issues remain, a versatile fighter like Crawford could exploit them.
And after really the Triple G fight is when we've seen the slippage on Canelo. And over the last 2 years, it's been immediately apparent. It's been apparent straight away over the last 2 years. Canelo's feet have always been slow. He's always been very slow-footed. So when people are saying, oh, it looks like his legs are slowing down, yeah, they are. They've never been quick, but now they're even slower, which is a problem. And Jim Lampley on commentary on Friday night show was saying that one of Canelo's biggest strengths is his legs. It generates power and it helps with his punch resistance. Well, those legs are sliding and that power is diminishing. Canelo hasn't had a stoppage win now since he knocked out Caleb Plant in 2021. And yeah, he's dropped some of these guys, but he's not been able to step on the gas and finish them. He's not been able to go through the gears. His gas tank, you can put that into question as well. And Canelo Alvarez, come July, be 35 years old. So he is, look, Canelo's been around so long and his real prime was in his mid-20s. So we associate Canelo, mid-20s to early 30s. So we kind of associate Canelo with that. I don't want to say ever young, but you know, he is still young, just not in boxing senses. But he's been around so long, 20 years a pro, and he's been at world levels for probably 15 of those. You're going to expect some slippage. And I think in this fight, an opponent, it was very negative, yes, but an opponent who Canelo Alvarez of 5 years ago would have handled, and he did handle him, but you know what I mean, he probably would have put some damage on William Skull. He didn't do anything.
Sean Porter and other analysts stress that Crawford's path to victory relies on distance management and angles. By continually shifting positions and forcing Canelo to reset, Crawford can disrupt his rhythm and limit his forward momentum. Over time, this strategy could wear down Alvarez both physically and mentally. Porter insists that mental focus will be just as important as physical execution in this matchup. The fighter who stays composed, disciplined, and committed to their strategy from start to finish will likely leave the ring victorious.